What is up, everybody? Back with another discography ranking here today, and with this one I'm going to be talking about the Swedish black metal band Armagedda. So originally they formed in 1999 under the name Volkermord, only kept their name as that for about a year, put out one demo, and then changed their name to Armagedda in 2000. We're only together from 2000 to 2004 originally, releasing 3 full-length studio albums in that time. Broke up for about 16 years, then just got back together last year actually and put out another album. So 4 full lengths total that I'm going to be ranking here, and the 2 main members of the band go by the names Andreas Peterson, who does bass and guitar, and a guy who goes by the name Grav on vocals and also guitar. They've had a different drummer on every single album, including Eric Danielson actually, who did the drums on the Only True Believers album, which he is the frontman of Watain, so that's pretty interesting. But yeah, 4 albums here, gonna rank them how I like them. Here we go. Starting off the ranking at the bottom is going to have to be their most recent album that just came out last year. And I got to be honest with y'all, there is a 0% chance I can pronounce this right, but y'all see it there on the screen, and I'll attempt it here, but it's something like Svindeldjup, ättestup, or something like that. We got the Swedish language here, which obviously I don't know, but that doesn't really matter to me. You know, with music, people ask me, do you got to understand the language? Does it got to be your first language to enjoy the songs? I don't think it does, you know, as long as there's good riffs, good melodies, you know, all this stuff. For me, the lyrics, I don't really need to understand them. But as far as this album goes, it is, I don't like to rank a most recent album at the bottom, but in this case, the first 3 albums from this band are so good. You know, this one isn't bad at all, just it has the place here for me. The production is amazing, and it kind of feels like a blend of all of their styles a little bit to me. In moments, it's more mellow and melodic, kind of almost like a black and roll, but very chaotic and just crazy at times as well. Looking at these songs again, you know, Ond Spiritism is probably my favorite song on the album, and that is actually the name of one of their previous albums. Always kind of annoyed me a little bit, to be honest, when a band would put a title track from a previous album, like on the next album or a future album. Like if Megadeth were to put the song Peace Sells on the album Rust in Peace, like what are you doing? But that's a good song, and I'd probably say the final track on here again, have no idea how to pronounce it, but it's like Avitin, In, Abrathar Circle or something, but really great melodies. The guitar work is fantastic from these guys, and the vocals still sound really good from Grav. So this is my bottom album, but it's still a very solid release. Svindeldjup, ättestup at number 4. Next up at number 3, I'm going to go with their debut album from 2001, The Final Wan Approaching. So with this one, extremely raw production, got a very cold and dark atmosphere to it. You know, typical of bands like Dark Throne, sounds like some of their early stuff. Burzum, reminds me of an American band that does that sound really well, also called Judas Iscariot. So if you like those bands, give this album a listen. And with this one, it's very different from all of their other releases. The other ones all have pretty good production, but again, this one, super raw, and I know people like that with black metal, and they do it really well here. The melodies are fantastic. Looking at some of these songs, Death Minded to open it up is fantastic. Skogen's Morka Jup or something like that is a freaking awesome song, and I'd probably go with Undergang as being my 3 favorites. But again, if you like stuff from those 3 bands I listed, just classic raw black metal, you'll dig this album for sure. The Final Wan Approaching, my number 3. Coming in at number 2 is Ond Spiritism from 2004. So with this one, it's definitely a bit more mellow than their previous album, Only True Believers. But while it is a bit more mellow and gives me almost like a black and roll type feel in moments, it still maintains some of that just harsh aggression that was on Only True Believers. The guitar tone is amazing, very muddy, just raw tone, but still with really good production on this album. It's really cool the way that sounds, and the bass is definitely the most prevalent on this album. Like, you got just a bass lick going for like a minute and a half to open up the album on the song Helvet Stoner or something like that. But this song is fantastic. As I said, the bass is going for a minute and a half there. Then it just breaks in with an amazing riff and just super heavy, awesome stuff. The melody's fantastic as usual. And another favorite song on here, I'd probably go with Endelicht. It's the 4th song on the album, but great stuff from top to bottom for the most part. Awesome album here at number 2, Ond Spiritism. And taking the number 1 spot has got to be Only True Believers from 2003. Just freaking amazing album here. Definitely one of the better black metal albums of all time, in my opinion. It's freaking dark, it's evil, it's raw, it's chaotic. It's everything you want with a black metal album. Love the guitar tone, the production, definitely a big step up from their debut album. They joined Agonia Records for this release and their next one. But definitely better production on it, but it still maintains a super raw and aggressive feel. And while it does have that, you know, the songs are still very well put together. When people think of black metal, they just automatically assume it's just a bunch of jumbled together, random noise, cacophony, but it's really not that most of the time. This is a great example of that. Looking at these songs, all these songs are even in English for me to read here without sounding like a dummy. We got Refuse the Blood of Jesus to open it up, which is freaking amazing. The title track, and I'd probably go with Poetry from a Poisoned Mind as being my 3 favorites, but all these are fantastic, and I feel like this will probably be like 95% of y'all's number 1s as well. Awesome album. Can't say much more. So that is my number 1. And also, this is the one that has Eric Danielson from Watain doing the drumming. I think that's pretty cool. He freaking kills it on here. But yeah, that is my number 1. And that was the discography ranking. Short and sweet for Armagedda. Great Swedish black metal band. I want to know what y'all thought. Give me your rankings for their discography in the comments. And until next time, thank you for watching.